Hello, everybody. Welcome and get ready because we're about to take it to the mic stand. So sorry I'm a little late getting on here. Just had some last minute stuff to take care of and in preparation for the show. Excuse me a moment. All right, sorry about that, everybody. Let's see now. So, got at least myself here. Let's see, thought I saw. All right, so let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. So we'll wait a few minutes to see if anybody shows up. Let me see now. What can I? Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I know I was a little late getting on, and I just finishing up some last minute stuff prior to the show. Hey, Dave Marks and ATC, how you guys doing? I see you guys there. Howdy do there, Dave. And ATC, you're looking tonight, okay? Yeah, I just got started here, guys. I kind of got in a little late here, just simply because, of course, I got caught up on Tug Stream a little bit there at the end and other stuff. So you were fashionably late. Well, yeah, I did have to go do some last minute prep before. Give me a sec here. I gotta go on. So, sure, you're all about to ask me, well, what's on tap for the mic stand tonight? So I tracked down three interesting stories. One involving Keanu Reeves' venture into independent comics. Another involving a top licensing manager apparently making threats. That was pretty interesting. That one just kind of came out just a little while ago, so had to pre-read that a little bit. And then also there's some IDW news as well. A little bit limited on the history stuff tonight. Not, just a couple of things I was able to find. Due again to me just getting going a little later than I normally do. So, but anyways, how are you guys doing? You guys have a good day today? Let's see. Orion above LA. Okay. I just saw a live stream titled "Please help us, Keanu is taking all the money." It was in jest, I'm sure. Uh-huh. Anonymity. Hey, how you doing, man? Hey, just got home. Going to make a bite to eat. RQ, and then let's see. Making GI Joe stands. Okay. So it looks like you guys are all pretty active tonight. Um, did any of you have it? Well, have any of you had a chance to see what's been going on with the Sophie stuff today? I know Nick covered it this morning. Chambers put a video up on it as well, and Tug just did a live stream on it. Did you guys see all that? I kind of came in at the end there for a bit. Okay, let's see. Anonymity had something to say here. I got a little, but was busy, so didn't hear much. Yeah, Nick seemed a bit more even keeled about it, whereas Tug was a little more upset. I mean, I think obviously from considering his mental health background, um, he felt like Sophie should have been taken out of the mother's custody. Sophie and the kid should have been taken out of the mother's custody due to the allegations. But I think if it shows us anything, the judge now does not like the burn of the spotlight on her rear end. That's basically so now all these hearings are going to be streamed live on. So there is going to be some streamed live on Zoom. So and thereby probably uploaded to YouTube. So we're going to get some transparency there. The mother's attorney, of course, is trying to cast the dad as the one with the mental health issues. Basically they filed more or less for a continuance, which just means that they wanted to postpone the actual evidentiary hearing for a later date, just to give because the judge apparently is just getting back on the case, and of course the father Michael Long has secured new counsel. So that's pretty much the gist of it all. I'm just I'm just basically I'm not even commenting on a whole lot. Just I agree. She deserves it. Yeah, she does. Anyways, so with all that being said, though, we just have to hope that we can keep enough of the pressure on the judge and those involved to make sure, that that Sophie is safe and things are done, correctly. So, see, what did you have to say here? Um, it's a legal case, so it's gonna be a slow burn. He we're still going through yeah, you're right. We are, yeah. Legal cases are going to, hell, okay. Slow burn hell. We're still going, yeah. And and Dave, that we shouldn't hear anything on that case for about another, like, what, 2.5 weeks. Like, today's the 3rd, and so just under 3 weeks till we hit, like, 19 days, because I think the appeals court on that one is due back at the latest the 22nd, from what I understand. So, yeah, I mean, but as with a lot of things, that sometimes the court process is a bit of a slow drag. You know, there seemed to be a lot of, and of course the mother's attorney was a real piece of work too. She was a real piece of work. Of course, people are saying that she's just doing her job, and I do understand that, but still, she's a piece of work. I wonder if she's been cavorting with Lemonhead. J. Sean Lemoyne. Crew. Hell, isn't Richard Meyer and Zach Wade still going on? Oh, right. Uh, well, yeah, it's funny because remember that the whole thing with their family, with the Long family, has apparently been going on since 2007. I think it was in 2017 when the initial divorce happened. And all of this has been going on for like the last 3 years. So what can you say? Excuse me a moment, guys. I got to go off screen for a moment. Again, not that I wanted to spend a great deal of time on that. Obviously, I want to try to keep things more upbeat on my screens. So, why don't we get into the news? Let's get into some niche news here. Found 3 articles today that were pretty interesting. I know you guys did mention. I think it was Dave Marks was talking about another stream that was talking about. First one, the lead article I'm gonna go into here, which is the one about Keanu Reeves and his Indiegogo project. So here we go. Okay. Sure wouldn't want to. Oh, sure would. I sure wouldn't want to meet that guy in a dark alley. Okay. Kickstarter campaign for Keanu Reeves' Berserker. I believe that's how you're pronouncing that, even though there's no vowels in there. Under fire from industry professionals. Of course it is. You know that industry professionals just hate the independent comic scene. And we're about to get into a good reason why. But anyways, sorry about that. Had to step off screen for a moment. Okay. The recent announcement of a Kickstarter campaign for Boom Studios and actor Keanu Reeves' um, new comic series, Berserker, has sparked an outcry among some comic book professionals. Oh, please, please, no, no. They believe the use of the crowdfunding platform is both detrimental to the health of the industry and insulting to creators. Of course it is. But it's not like they don't deserve to be insulted. A lot of these creators have gone after like countless, independent creators, dox them. It's like, oh please, Keanu, please, Boom Studios, don't make your comics, don't do a Kickstarter. We don't want our butts kicked, right? Right? You got. Let's see. It looks like you guys. See. Mark. Haha. Not Zach. Whoops. Um. Broke SJWs always mad. Yeah, they surely are. I think Berserker is Keanu trying to live out his desire to play Wolverine more power to. Well, it could be. I mean, I get your point there. It does kind of there does seem to be a striking resemblance there, Dave. So I think you do have an interesting point there. It's detrimental to certain creators, formerly big creators. Uh huh. I think that's the point, Dave. That's why they're crying so much because Keanu's gonna take our money away. He's gonna make so much money that we're gonna have to move out of our mansions and give up our Rolls Royces because our books aren't selling anymore. Right? Uh, right, guys. And you notice how I'm just roasting these people. Um, described as a brutally violent new series about one immortal warrior's fight through the ages. Uh, I hope Keanu is careful with this because obviously we were talking about the idea of Wolverine, but with that kind of description, it sounds a little bit like Vandal Savage too, of DC fame. I just hope they don't try to bust him for copyright infringement on that one, because that with that description, that sounds like Vandal Savage. Boom Studios and Reeves announced the Kickstarter for Berserker, the first comic book and graphic novel series from the iconic Keanu Reeves. So the actor that we saw in The Matrix is now, basically doing his own book on September 1st, which was, of course, this past Tuesday, a couple of days ago. The man, known only as Berserker, is half immortal and half god, cursed and compelled to violence even at the sacrifice of his sanity, reads the series' Kickstarter page. But after wandering the world for centuries, Berserker may have finally found a refuge working for the U.S. government to fight the battles too violent and too dangerous for anyone else. In exchange, Berserker will be granted the one thing he desires: the truth about his endless, blood-soaked existence and how to end it. Very interesting. And of course, I've seen a number of, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there have been a number of stories over the years about, you know, on some level, I think we all want some level of security in our lives in terms of like immortality, right? There's some deep seated aspect where, you know, there is a part of us that probably do want to live forever or feel like we're invulnerable, you know. Yet, as we've seen time and time again, we find stories that when people do gain that immortality, there are some who who regret having it. This sounds like one of those stories. A few others I can think of course, are Highlander, you know, um, and a couple of vampiric stories, including Dark Shadows and Forever Night. So, let's see now. Let's see. I think there are some. No one has copyright on immortality. Hmm. I would hope not for Keanu's sake. I mean, even to just be bothered with them trying to pull some kind of copyright claim is Keanu can do what he wants. Yeah, I agree. He can do what he wants. It's still going to be kind of a pain in the ass. So excuse my French there. Um, to have to go through it if these whiny SJWs decide to pull that kind of thing. I'd rather be reincarnated with memories, maybe, and then half gods and immortals um, aren't copyrightable. Okay. Well, I hope you're right. I'm not as familiar with that, but it just makes you think because of the similarities there. Alongside Reeves, the series production team will include writer Matt Kindt from Ninjak of 2015, Exo Man of War 2017, artist Ron Garney The Amazing Spider-Man and Uncanny X-Men, colorist Bill Crabtree, BRPD, and I guess that's supposed to be letterer, Clem Robbins, Y the Last Man. As of writing, the Kickstarter campaign has raised $373,007, greatly surpassing its original $50,000 goal. Oh yeah, it looks like it surpassed it 7 times over. Kind of like what Tug's Indiegogo project did, right? Tug's Indiegogo project did even more. However, in light of the book's crowdfunding success, some members of the comic book industry have taken issue with Boom Studios' decision to use the Kickstarter platform for the series, particularly due to the studio's alleged history of underpaying its employees. Gail Galligan, best known for her graphic novel adaptations of the Babysitter's Club books, found herself absolutely cackling at the idea of a major comic book publisher, I guess, which has deals with Netflix and Universal, hopping onto Kickstarter to fund their Keanu Reeves written comic books. And I guess this is her tweet on the matter. I do need you to know that I am absolutely cackling at the idea of a major comic book publisher, which has deals with Netflix and Universal, having on the Kickstarter to fund their Keanu Reeves written comic book. For some reason, page rate increases aren't in the stretch goals. Weird. Giant Days anchor Liz Fleming stated she was so furious about the campaign as she claimed Boom Studios paid her a rate of $20 per inked page during her run on the series, and now they don't even want to pay for their own publications. And then here's a couple of her tweets. Well, with Boom doing a damn Kickstarter like they're not a massive company with a huge pre-existing following and Netflix deals, it's a great time to remind everyone I was paid $20 US per inked page during my run on Giant Days. 20! That's kind of whiny. I am so furious. 4 years I spent doing everything you could imagine under the sun comics for that company, making raisins, and now they don't even want to pay their own publications. The calculation, I'm disgusted. What, that a company wants to make money and wants to limit as much overhead as possible? I mean, come on. Let's see. Look like you guys have. Let's see. We saw that. Saw that. If they pulled him and he came to see, they pulled him and he came to CG or something, that would be huge. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Green with envy. Yeah, they're green with envy because they don't have enough green in their pocket. Right there, Dave. Laugh out loud. I bet Keanu already paid for everything and wants to raise money for a charity, or this is his own way of saying he's maybe, we don't know. Let's see. That charity idea sounds like something Reeves would do. How can a Hollywood guy be as nice as him? Well, something tells me, based on some of the things I've been hearing lately, he's not typical Hollywood. He's not like the other like clowns that we hear a lot about. He's not like Amber Turd and some of these other you know Elon Husk, um agent. Hey, Bat Goat, how you doing, man? Um, Bat Goat. Uh, laugh out loud. What's up, Dave? HEC Anon. Evening, Bat Goat. Okay. So we got a good crowd in tonight. So let's get back to the story here. First story. Let's see. Okay. Um, Former She-Ra and the Princess of Power animator Kate Farina. I'm guessing that might be the newer She-Ra. I'm guessing. Asked, "How is using a platform meant for people to kickstart projects they can't afford okay for a company who admits they don't need the money?" I don't know, y'all, but I would really like an answer here. How is it using a platform meant for people to kickstart projects they can't afford okay for a company who admits they don't need the money? I can only assume it's to pay their artists living wages in the future. Anyways, excuse me a moment, guys. Okay. She would further go on to say that 350,000 in one day for a project they knew would succeed and didn't need the money for was despicable. You ain't helping anyone by bringing on diverse creators for the clout and burning them to ash. And frankly, I think we're all pretty exhausted by it. 350,000 in one day for a project they knew would succeed and didn't need the money for. Despicable. Are you guys like how I'm roasting these people? The great stream going back out. Cool. See, Rackets is better at the voice thing. Just saying. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just putting it in. I'm just putting it in for. I mean, yeah, there'll probably be people better, but at least I'm trying, right? At least trying to add a little color to it. Ha 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 ha. He's pretty good at voices from Ace Attorney, maybe. Now, mind you, too, I don't really know how a lot of these people really sound. I'm just making a general funny voice to impersonate them. I don't really know how. So if you're expecting like real actual impressions, I don't even know how these people sound. I've never even heard of a lot of these people or heard them talk, so I don't really even know. I'm just coming up with funny voices to represent them, just for the sake of to make things a little more entertaining. Right? Rianne Sig, the artist of the James Tynion the Fourth written, okay, of artist of the James Tynion Four written or IV written and Boom Studios published series, The Backstagers, stated that he was so heartbroken by my experience in the comic industry, and that is 100% because uh, Boom Seek, as Sig was allegedly cranking out 22 pages in 2 weeks for maybe $1,000. And then that's his, that right there is his, um, I'm so heartbroken by my experience in the comics industry, and that is 100% because of Boom. I'm extremely lucky I managed to jump ship into animation. Otherwise, I might still be trapped in a tenement apartment, cranking out 22 pages in 2 weeks for maybe $1,000. Sounds like a lot of salt. Like, I'm sure you guys have heard of the expression, cry me an ocean, cry me a river. Right? Um, Surprisingly, in an interview with comicbook.com, Boom Studios founder and CEO Ross Ritchie claimed that the point of the Kickstarter was not to raise funds, as the publisher has got the money for it, but rather to take advantage of the untapped audience it can reach. Ding, 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 ding. So while these creators are crying oceans, Boom Studios is admitting that they're not doing it because they need the money. They're doing it to try to reach people. Wow. What a crime, right? What a what a stinking crime. And they want to use a platform to actually reach people, to get the word out more. Wow. Eh. Racket's nerdy girl voice is my favorite. It's funny, SJWs are always to be made fun of. Uh huh. Flash does a really good hoity-toity SJW voice. I figured he was part of the reason why I thought, well, maybe I'll give the voices a try too. Your voice acting is fine, Mike. It gets across the idea of complaining better than you want to be socialite. Well, thank you, Dave. Thank you for the compliment. Um, which basically is the general idea. It's, again, I'm trying to be funny, I'm trying to be entertaining, but I'm also just, I'm sure it's what Yellow Flash and Nick do too when they do the voices too. It's to get across just the sheer stupidity as well as the idiocy, you know, of these people. It's like, as I think it was Batgo said, SJWs deserve to be made fun of. It's like they sit there with every stupid comment they make, they slap on a sign right on their back that says please ridicule me because I am an idiot, right? The nerd girl is a good one. Ha ha ha. True. Ha ha ha. Cry me a river. Laugh out loud. True. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like using my word usage skills as well as maybe some mockery. Okay. And the thing that Kickstarter has is a one click. People have heard of it, so I don't have to reach. I don't have to teach you what it is. And it's one click, explained Richie, who sees the kickstarting of the 3 volumes as a complete story as a way to prevent reader drop off. So obviously they have a plan with it, and it's not as much about raising the capital because, as has been stated throughout this article, Boom Studios can definitely raise the capital. That's not the issue here. It seems more like they're using it more as an outreach tool, as a way to get the word out and say, "Hey, come check out Keanu Reeves' Kickstarter here. Come check out his book." You know, and that's okay. It's okay for big companies to do that. It's okay for small companies to do that. It's okay for Mark Wade to do it. It's okay for Joe Schmo Schmidt to do it. um, so I mean, all this salt that they're giving us is all it is, salt. Look at this picture right here. Standing over like ready to go into action. That's a pretty cool shot there, wouldn't you guys say? Let's see. I'm thinking about Remphamis walking around with a kick me shot taped to her fat, disgusting back. Uh-huh. The blue-haired whale. Everybody's favorite blue-haired whale. Remphamis is truly a garbage human. She can go get what she deserves. Looks good to me. I'd love to put her down using a mailbox. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, kind of funny. We're talking about Remphamis, even though I personally have not heard anything out of Remphamis's. Of course, I'm not on Twitter, of course, so I don't even know what she's saying these days. I don't really care. She's not worth the time to even really talk, other than to make fun of. Obviously, excuse me a moment again, guys. Remphamis, Mars Girl, Montello. You know, none of these people are really worth our time, other than just to laugh at when they start acting stupid. So um, Ren is a crazy cat lady whose man stays with her because her dad's an oil tycoon. Um, she's a nobody now, laughable, really. Yeah, I mean, again, I haven't. Now, mind you, I'm not on Twitter anymore. I got rid of my Twitter account back in December. Um, but I really couldn't care less. She's just one of those irritants now and again. Let's see. What if Keanu really is an immortal vampire and this is actually his memoir? Yeah, that would be funny. Um, oh, she's spoiled. Um, imagine that. Haha. Yeah. Oh, here's an interesting, funny thought about that too. Imagine for a moment if somebody actually did take her to the woodshed, took out a belt or a switch, and whipped her rear end for a while. Could you really imagine just how much bigger her behind would probably swell up? Yeah, that would be a sight. I want to see an SJW hit a fast pitch or cut a log in one swing or change their own brakes. Laugh out loud. Anyways, back to the story here. Get back to the story here. Enough of laughing at SJWs for now. At least until we see the next stupid comment in the article here. And why you want to do that with a newbie people people sell a movie to you and it's the whole thing. You don't get halfway through and they stop it and go home or go back to the box office and pay another ticket to get the rest, said Ritchie. With the use of Kickstarter, Ritchie noted that readers would be given the ability to click once on it and I can set it and forget it. And then it just comes to my door. Here's another pic of the I guess one of the other scenes in the comic. And can back Berserker until September 1st. So basically, I guess you can no longer back. I guess the campaign's over. I guess the series will also be available through the direct market and retail comic book shops at a later date. Um, what do you make of the Berserker Kickstarter? Should Boom Studios have used the crowdfunding platform just to market the series? Let us know your thoughts. So yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of that? You guys have any additional thoughts on that? It looks like you guys had some comments and through. Let's see. Yeah, those two were where we last off. I don't want to think about Lawrence behind. Yeah, I kind of said it that way, Dave, to be humorous. I don't think any of us probably really want to see it. I would just basically the idea was to kind of point out the horror if it got any bigger. If you get what I mean. Mike sounds like he's got a crush. Uh, laugh out loud, joke, elbow cough. No, I don't really have a crush. I mean, you know, never enough. Uh, she was cute when she was a conservative. It's biology. Go left and get fat ugly. uh, well, no, I mean there are people on the right who are like overweight as well. So I mean I know I'm overweight. I'm 230 pounds or so, and I lean to the right. So I don't think that has anything to do with it. Um, Even when she was a conservative, she was a garbage human. Well, I mean, I think from what I remember hearing, she has, I mean, she made it a point to brag about how it was her job to basically go around and stir up trouble. Okay. She made, she bragged about how that was basically her job, was going around stirring the pot. So true. It's not even the issue to crowdfund a comic. No, this is just their salt. It's just their salt. You know. Kevin Smith did the daughter thing with Jay and Silent Bob reboot. It was okay. I'm assuming Bill and Ted is probably just an okay movie with some nice shout outs. If Kickstarter didn't have a problem and the backers don't have a problem, why should anyone else have a problem? It's just jealousy. Yeah, good point, Dave. That's a very good point. Um, they shouldn't have an issue. Again, reason they have an issue is because they are jealous. They're crying over the fact that Boom Studios and Keanu Reeves are more successful than them, are more well liked than them, and people actually want to help them succeed because they're tired of the SJW crowd insulting them. Mike wants to court rent. You guys can think what you want, but again, you guys don't really want me to go down that road because you'd be kind of surprised. Okay, it would probably not. Let's just say it's not. We start getting into that kind of thing. Probably not really something to get into here. Mike plus Ren forever. Oh boy, you guys are funny. Bill and Ted 3 was exactly what I expected. I was quite satisfied. I rate it an excellent 10. Ha 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 ha. That Jay and Silent Bob thing was bad on a different level. We started it on Flash Twitch's channel one night. 10 minutes in, he stopped it, and we agreed it was garbage. Oh, so it took you 10 minutes to realize it was garbage. What did it remind you of the turd in Johnny Depp's bed? Uh, I got super baked for Jay and Silent Bob. Watched it once and deleted it. All right. Give me a sec, guy. I gotta step off screen again. Uh, okay, so with that being said, guys, let's move on to the second story of the night here. And this is the one. This is the other one. This is the one that just came out just before, like a little while before my stream. Excuse me once again. I'm sorry. No. Sorry about that, guys. Anyways, so here's the next story I'm going to talk about here. Cox licensing manager wishes Cable and Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld died instead of Chadwick Boseman. Let's see. But I guys did have some more stuff to say here. When I'm baked and I watch Hoovie's Garage, I'm done. He's hilarious. Oh, hey, Batgoat, your EMS. Um, thank you for what you do. Okay. Um, Hoovie's Garage, I know nothing. I appreciate you saying that it was a wild career. Hoovie is a car dude from Kansas. He does hoopties. Just a funny dude, not a wrench turner. Easy to watch. He flips a lot of cool old junky cars. Damn, that's a hot take if I've ever heard one, dude. What are you talking about, Dave? Are you talking about the Topps creator thing? Topps licensing manager wishes Cable and Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld died instead of Chadwick Boseman. Let's get into this. A licensing manager for trading card giant Topps recently misdirected his outrage and disappointment over the untimely death of actor Chadwick Boseman towards comic creator Rob Liefeld. On September 1st, Topps Entertainment licensing manager Adam Levine posted a message that featured a list of people I wished had died instead of Chadwick Boseman and included a singular name on the list, Rob Liefeld. While it appeared to be a misguided and inappropriate attempt at humor, the death wish did not sit right with Liefeld himself posted a did not sit right with Liefeld himself posted a screenshot of Levine's post to his own Facebook page alongside a caption that stated, "People continue to prove how atrocious they can be." Yeah, no kidding. This is typical SJW, right? And then here's I guess the Facebook post right here. You guys want to see that? The short post would conclude with the creator asking, "Topps, you employ this person?" Liefeld would further assert that the post was ugly, inappropriate, and shouldn't be tolerated. State that his kids are of an age that they have Facebook accounts now, and express his disappointment that he shouldn't have to explain to them why a stranger publicly posted his desire that I be dead. Yeah, I mean, and I know Tug has probably talked about that quite a bit. Nick has talked about that. Why why these people go after kids is beyond me. You have an issue with a person, fine, deal with the person. Don't attack their family. Don't attack. I mean, that's more morally reprehensible to go after somebody's family. Okay, you have an issue with somebody, you take it up with them. Don't sit there and go after their family. I think everybody here would agree that's BS. Do it to okay, okay, we already read that. Already read that, I believe. I know about the hoopties. Ha ha ha. Think I'll check it out. Wow. Well now, not smart. Uh-huh. Yep. I'd agree with you there, Bat Goat. Not smart. Not to be confused with Avril Lavigne. Yeah. Avril, I think, is like the French word for April. So SJWs are never told no, safe space, no spanking generation. Uh-huh. Yep. That's true. People who abuse kids can go die. I don't put up with that manure. Excuse me a moment, guys. Okay, Bat Goat just had a couple points to make here. We'll see what that malarkey. Yeah, that's another word for it. Laugh out loud. That's another word for it. Bat Goat malarkey. Well, let's continue on. The creator would also note that his family heard of this before I did. Really shameful. Yeah, that is kind of a shame. It's like, I don't know if we do. Well, actually, I know ATC is a parent here, but excuse me a moment, guys. I'm sorry. But sometimes, some days are worse than others, huh, guys? Little nuisances like your nose being a bit more congested some nights worse than others. Anyway, so let's see. Let's see. Laugh out loud. Make everybody hide. um. Ha ha ha! Act like you're sleeping. Okay, don't know what that means, Dave. Ha ha ha! And then Bat Goat saying to repeat the thing. I don't understand what that means, but hey, hey ho! He had to go grab his Gat Yo Desert Eagle 50, you think? Okay. But that all means. Anyways, back to the after this. Following his post, Liefeld would receive an outpouring of support from friends, including those involved with the comic book industry. The creator of the Danny Ketch version of Ghost Rider, Howard Mackie, stated that the only solace I take when I see something like this is when I search and discover this POS. I think we all know what that means. Is not a Facebook friend of mine. Writer Frank Thierry expressed his amazement at how it's like we're not real people with actual families to people like this. You know, it's kind of funny. We've been saying this same last thing for what, the last year or so? Right, guys? We've been saying this, what, for the last year and a half or so? Right? Okay. Mike seems like a 1911 kind of guy. All right. I don't know what a 1911 kind of guy you mean by that. I mean, but Mike Z are universal for sleeping. Okay. 1911, good call. Only I don't know what you mean by 1911. We were pretending to sleep, Mike. Pretending. Laugh out loud. They don't listen. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, comedian and former Deadpool writer Brian Posehn um, simply stated that the post was really bleeping gross. Um, though Levine has since deleted the offending Facebook post, he has yet to offer up any form of apology, instead telling detractors, "That's hardly the most offensive thing I've ever posted." Really? What could be worse than wishing somebody dead? Actually, there's a couple things, but I don't think I want to say them here. That's hardly the most. Dude is clueless, right? Levine would continue to double down by stating clearly the most offensive are my posts supporting Antifa, BLM, and LGBTQ rights because those seem to spark a lot of hate from right-wing nut jobs. Oh yeah, let's bring politics into this. Yeah. Why yeah. Let's bring politics into this while we're at it. As of writing, Topps has not publicly commented on this event. If there is anybody out there from Topps watching, I don't think anybody from Topps company would be watching this stream, but if you happen to be watching, my suggestion is you pull this guy aside, pull him into the office, sit his behind down, and have a little talk with him. Because if you don't say something, people are going to start coming after you over it. And I don't mean like violently either. I mean people will just start, saying, something. If that's the kind of company they are, I don't want to do business with them. So, what do you think of Levine's post? Was it a joke too far or a genuine attack? Let us know your thoughts on social media or in the comments down below. Well, what do you guys think of that? You guys think it's a joke too far, or do you think he actually meant to attack Mr. Liefeld? Okay, laugh out loud. Don't listen. Okay, we already got those. Sorry, Mike. It's a gun talk. Okay. Oh, so 1911 some kind of gun? Then is that what you're saying there, Dave? Give him a wedgie, atomic even. That didn't seem like a joke. Yeah, I mean, okay. I would say I would go with the up until like the last set of statements there, where he was talking about like where he starts talking about like making statements supporting Antifa and BLM and all that. I would have thought maybe it was a joke gone too far. It was just him being stupid. But I think he compounded his stupidity by making a statement about trying to inflame right wing nut jobs by saying he supports Antifa and BLM and all that baloney. So that's my take on it. Nothing new here, I guess. But yeah, as I said, up until those last couple of statements there about him like inflaming right wing, quote unquote right wing nut jobs, I would have thought it was maybe a joke taken too far. But with that statement, he just compounded his stupidity by, and it probably is more of a legit attack now. A lesson I've had to learn over and over is when to STFU, and yeah, the 1911 is a gun as well as the Desert Eagle, a big handgun. Okay. I mean, again, I don't know what being a 1911 means, what you're implying with that, but since I don't, I don't mess around with guns too much, so Antifa is always joking, those peaceful jokers. Yeah, yeah. As we all chuckle in bemusement, they are anonymity. Just a jovial bunch of peaceful jokers. Yeah, well, as everybody, I'm sure as everybody knows here, we do know of a particularly homicidal Joker from DC Comics, right? A.K. Jack Napier, chemical expert, former small time hood. Wow, we're already over the hour. We're like almost an hour and 12 minutes into this, guys. We've been rocking and rolling tonight, even though only been a couple of stories here. We've really been rocking and rolling here, having a good old time. Let's see what you guys have to say here. Ha 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 ha. It, I was just saying you look like you would use the handgun that served the U.S. military for a long time. It's a compliment. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, again, if I absolutely had to, I mean, I prefer not to. I prefer if everybody would just, obviously just calm down. We just get back to our lives. Everybody just gets back to their lives, and not be burning down our cities and burning down our cities and just destroying each other. I'd rather we not do that. I'd rather we, like do what try to do every night. Just come in, like, you know. So I was even as Tug and I had talked a lot about. I try to put a positive spin. I try to, put a positive spin on everything. With my streams. We got enough negativity in the world. Right? Even though we sit here and we make fun of SJWs for their stupidity, because obviously, yeah, they deserve to be made fun of when they're being stupid. Okay, but the thing is that yeah, and sometimes there'll be some situations like the Sophie situation. I'm sure we've all felt that way. There are times when people say or do things that are just so outrageously stupid or atrocious that yeah, you do in that moment you get hot enough to where you do want to do something to them. Not that you're gonna get up and go like I'm in California. I'm not gonna sit here and start marching all the way out to Texas trying to do something to because it's counterproductive. It's just not worth it. Okay. I'm sure we all have those impulses, especially when we see a very egregious wrong. But I think as human beings, we understand that we know better. And it's incumbent upon us to not act on those impulses, even when we feel that we are perfectly justified to act on on those impulses. Because if we just simply act on those impulses without thinking, we're no better than animals. Okay? We're no better than animals if we just let our anger and just act on impulse like that. You know, man has the ability to reason. Has the ability to reason for a reason. Okay, so you know So that's my take on all that. Now, I was saying, of course, I have 3 stories tonight, so I do have one more story to go through, and that's about IDW. They made an announcement, I think, earlier today that was pretty interesting, and I'll get to that here in a moment. Okay. There it is. All right, so I found it looks like Dave Marks. Let's see, that was no, we already went through that. Let's see what else. Um, I would never fire a gun in anger. That's not what they're for. They are a tool that do a job, and outside of the military, I believe is what you're trying to say there. That job is self-defense, um, and making soda bottles explode. Yeah, I mean that's it. That's the thing. That's part of the problem with any form of weapon. Weapons can do a lot of damage, and they can do a lot of damage even in anger. Okay. And as I said, there are times you get angry and you may feel that you are perfectly justified to do something, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it still would make it right to follow that impulse. Okay. So just some food for thought. Excuse me one more time, guys. Sorry. We lost somebody. I'm sorry to see that we lost somebody there. All right, so here's the third and final story of the night. Okay, IDW Publishing extends returnability through 2020. I don't fully understand that myself, but um, due to the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, IDW Publishing is making its titles returnable until at least the end of 2020. I don't know if that just simply means that people can return the books or what have you. IDW Publishing has announced that it's extending returnability on all its titles until at least the end of 2020, after initially pledging to do so through the summer. IDW's official press release is below. San Diego, California, September 3rd, 2020. As retailers rise to the occasion and facing this year's many challenges, IDW Publishing will renew its pledge to support direct market comic retailers by extending full returnability on all new releases through the end of 2020, not just through the end of the summer as previously announced, and removing all associated fees for the foreseeable future. So I guess that might mean if I had to guess, I'm guessing that probably means when they when the comic book shops have to return the books because they're not selling to the company or whatever. I'm guessing. I'm not completely sure about that. You guys might know a little bit more about that than I would. Um, these guarantees help to provide comic specialty shops um, a risk-free opportunity to stock new launches and other key IDW releases, which allows retailers to order with confidence and um, to gauge customer demand effectively. Yeah, so I guess this is, when, basically the returnability from the comic book shops and company itself. IDW is upholding its original pledge to aggressively promote store traffic via social media initiatives, email messaging to subscribers, and additional means of customer outreach in order to further support the comic shops taking advantage of the risk-free returnable programs. Um, when historians look back 2020, they'll reflect on how our industry survived thanks to the unmatched determination, customer service, and on-the-spot innovations of comic shop retailers, says Jerry Bennington, IDW's president. It's important during these challenging times to make the process of ordering and stocking products easier um, for our retail partners. Um, their success keeps an entire industry alive. For information on how to acquire copies of IDW Publishing's upcoming comic book and graphic novel releases, please contact your local comic shop or visit www.comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you. So I know there's at least a couple of comic book shops near where I live. I live in La Mirada, um, some just north of me in Whittier. Um, so it's for the retailers. That makes sense. It was hard to sell comic comics during Corona time. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, people can't always, especially like here in California, even though we are starting to see people start to get back to normal, people starting to get out more and all that. Um, you know, but still, you have like all some of the restrictions about going into stores and all that. So IDW can't afford to buy SJW comics that don't sell anymore. Yeah, yeah. So that's pretty much true there. Wow. So we're like at an hour and 24. So this time I was able to stretch it out to an hour and a half, even though I had to get up a few times. And it was good having you all in here tonight too. We had 6 people in here tonight for a good chunk of the time. Um, yeah. So how have you guys liked the stream so far? It seems like we had a pretty fun stream. I know you guys were even, taking a few humorous shots at me tonight. How do you guys like the stream tonight, though? While I wait for you to answer, I'm going to step off screen for a moment here. All right, so let's see what you guys have to say here. Okay, I'll remove that space. Always fun, ha ha ha. Stream was good. It was fun hanging out. Good topic, silly people. Yeah, we were really being silly tonight. And I know you guys were using me as the butt of the joke, particularly with the whole Renthimus thing. Great stream as always. We were just having a little fun. Yeah, I know. I know. I mean, I wasn't taking it personal, Batgoat. If anything, I was kind of joining you in the humor as you guys were, you know, being humorous with me. I understood the humor, so um, I wasn't taking it personal. So when can we expect you and Lauren to oh, well, first off, she's already married. Okay, she's already married. um, like honestly, the only way I really even would, well, no, I'm not. I'm not even going to say it because trust me, what I would say would sound a little dark, and I know you all would probably take it in good humor and good dark humor. If it got out too much, it could get me in trouble. So I'm just going to leave it at that. You got to spring for a good box of Cracker Jacks to get a nice ring. Oh boy, she might leave him free. I doubt it. Don't go dark, Mike. We leave that up to our love. Don't you mean Tug? Don't you mean Tug? Because Tug goes dark. I know Flash goes a little dark sometimes, and Nick goes dark. But Lug doesn't go. I don't even think at the age she's at, Lug would even know what dark is. If you catch my drift. So so yeah, okay. So we've had a pretty good time, pretty much tonight here. You guys ready for this day in Nietzsche history? Okay, so oh, okay, so no, Lug goes dark when she tells stories. We love her for it. Yeah, but I don't think she goes dark to the same level I would probably end up going dark. She doesn't. She does Death Note. She's brutal. Lug is the greatest storyteller with the dark arts. Nick goes advanced dark. Yay! Heck yeah! Yay, history. Okay. I'm not actually fond of Nietzsche. If you're looking for the word Nietzsche, it's spelled Nitche. David, I just use that term because that's the collective term for it. I basically what I do is I go through. I just track down like interesting tidbits from piece of history, whether it's anime, cartoons, comics, you know, manga, pro wrestling, that kind of thing. So yeah, okay. ATC spelled it out for everybody. All right, so okay, so let's get started then here. Let me just check a couple things real quick. Due to the fact I got started a little late with this, I only was able to find a couple of things tonight. So just mind you, there's only a couple of things tonight. As you guys know, I usually do try to have some of it is that, and some of it was there just wasn't as much stuff to find for this particular date. Um, so we'll start here. So we're gonna head back to 1960. Okay, that's where we're gonna head off first. That's 60 years ago today. On this date, 60 years ago today, um, from Hair to Air, a Fritz Frayling cartoon starring Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam premiered in theaters. Of course, back even as recent as 1960s, cartoons were still being made as shorts for theater. So on this date in 1960, From Hair to Air premiered in movie theaters starring Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam. It was a cartoon. It was a short that was written, produced by is a Merry Melodies theatrical cartoon short, directed and written by Fritz Frayling. Of course, Mel Blanc was the one who provided the sole voice in it. So the main plot of the story, cartoon takes place at Bedlam Manor, somewhere in England, during the 18th century. Sam, Duke of Yosemite, finds out from one of his servants that Sam no longer has any money, but his uncle, the king, has cut off his allowance. After Sam punishes the servant for this message, not having the books balanced, by giving him the noose in the book penalty, slamming the heavy book on the servant's big nose. Bugs Bunny comes to his door. So basically, this, again, this is I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. The running time for the cartoon was 6 minutes, 31 seconds, and debuted in movie theaters on this date in 1960. So, let's see. I followed Dave. Nicely done. Nietzsche, something unusual. Nietzsche, pronounced Nietzsche, was a philosopher who was super depressing at times. Oh, okay. I get it now. I get it now. Okay. Anyways. So on this date, 1960, of course, From Hair to Air, debuted in movie theaters. It was a Fritz Frayling, Warner Brothers cartoon, Merry Melodies. So that happened 60 years ago today. I mean, I know some of you probably grew up watching Looney Tunes, watching the package stuff. Think about that. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that particular cartoon, but that cartoon that I'm sure is still on today on like Looney Tunes and stuff like that is 60 years old. A lot of those cartoons are like 60 and 70 years old that we partially grew up on, that were still in syndication even up to that point. That's a pretty interesting thing, wouldn't you say? Well, now I'll have to look up this old cartoon From Hair to Air. Yeah, that's part of the reason. And part of the reason why I do this, Dave, is to spark interest. It's to spark interest. That's the whole point of it. So, anyways, let's go on to the other piece of Nietzsche history that I have for you. And this is in the realm of comics. That was in the realm of cartoons, of course. This is in the realm of comics. So on this date in 1997, which happened to be 23 years ago today. The 55th issue of Betty from Archie Comics went on sale on newsstands on this date. And look at that. It was only $1.50 back then. Look at that. The 55th issue of Betty from Archie Comics went on newsstand on this date in 1997, 23 years ago. Interesting stuff. Wouldn't you guys say? Let's see. Betty, ha ha ha. I remember seeing those. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people forget there are other like publishers out there. DC and Marvel are not the only publishers out there. I mean, and of course we just talked about IDW, talked about Boom Studios earlier. There was Dark Horse at one time, Image. Archie Comics is still running strong. Now Archie Comics is more comedic, more like romantic comedy, slice of life kind of stuff. Not as much with the superhero stuff, but still pretty cool stuff. But as you guys may notice on the site I use there, you can see the different things there, including like Charlton, Harvey Comic. Harvey Comics is what gives us like Casper the Friendly Ghost and Richie Rich and Baby Huey and little Audrey and all that. Let's see. There's a couple of things here. I had some Betty and Veronica as a kid. Archie Comics, man, nostalgia. Yeah. I mean, think about that. That's 23 years ago, too. That's 23. That's 23 years ago that particular comic came out. So, when I was real little, I took Archie Comics to camp, not superhero. Yeah. Well, I mean, Archie even had, Filmation did a number of their characters as cartoons too. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember like the Archie Show or Archie's Funhouse, which were back in the early 70s, or the U.S. of Archie. Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which is another character from that line, I believe. She was, she had her own show back in the 70s as well as being a part of the Groovy Ghoulies cast. So that was some pretty fun stuff to talk about. So that's all that I have for you guys tonight on the This Day in Each History stuff. Let's see. I love the Jughead character, a dope with a bottomless stomach. Yeah, those type of characters are always ones that a lot of fans kind of gravitate for. It's like the lovable dunce, but he may not be totally sharp on the brain, but he has a lot of but he's got a lot of good heart. Um, let's see. Yeah, so I'm sure you guys enjoyed the stream tonight, right? Archie never picked between the girls. Yeah, they were constantly, even to this day, they're still. And think about it. I think Archie's been around since like the 40s. So I mean, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 10s, now 20, 9 decades. I think he's been around for something like 9 decades. 8, maybe 9 decades. That's a pretty long time to be involved. And and of course the art style for the comics hasn't changed all that much either. Nope. Nope, he Tim Pooled that. Whatever that means. Naturally. Great stream, sir. Thanks for spending time, Mike. Good night, everybody. Yeah, I'm about to peace out here too because run out of stuff to talk about, but it was good. We got an hour and 40 in tonight, so that was a good stream. Peace, Dave. Peace, y'all. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. I thank you guys for joining me tonight. We had a good old fun time tonight. So and I will hope, and don't forget, tomorrow night is Friday Night Forum, panel one. I haven't heard anything back from anybody, so I probably don't have any guests coming in. So that will mean I will probably see if you guys want to join. See if any of you want to join me in the studio to just hang out, and maybe we'll go over a couple. Maybe we'll go over a story or two. I'll look some stories up, see if see how things go, and you guys can join me actually in the studio, and we can talk back and forth. So I will see you all tomorrow night. Until then, bye. Fence sitter.